Where did the Holocaust happen?
I have no idea.
Where did it start? Which country?
I have no idea. Europe? No. Is it Europe? I don't think so.
It's scary, isn't it? It's shocking. As I've looked at this video, and it's a long video, and I hope that people will take a look at it. It's about 14, 15 minutes.
Exactly.
That Rhonda Fink-Whitman, author and broadcaster and Philadelphia mom who we love, and your mom, of course, Tania Fink, who's a survivor of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
This video, we'll be talking more about it, but I want to get into your story of strength and survival. Which is what your daughter's book obviously is based on, 94 Maidens. Take us back, and we have these amazing photographs to that time in the 40s, and you're a young girl with other young maidens. And I can't imagine the fear and the terror.
Well, truthfully, at this point in my life, when you have a baby and the pain is gone, otherwise you wouldn't have another one. So a lot of that stuff you keep blocked out of your mind.
Okay, you build up that wall.
Yes, you do. But I didn't really have friends. There were no friends. I was with my mother. It was just my mother and myself. And we were hidden out by people, but I didn't have friends. There was no childhood relationship for me. I had to be quiet. Don't talk, don't make noise, because you're going to give yourself away. You're going to give us away. So mainly, that was it. And of course, I remember little drips and drabs of places that we were hidden out. Different places that, like an orchard, where we stayed in a little hut. But like I said, most of it, you don't have a childhood. My childhood was taken away, and I didn't have a father because he was taken away right away. I mean, we ran off.
She is the little girl on the cover.
Okay.
And that, you see she's holding a little doll there. How do we say doll in German?
Puppe.
Puppe. Meine Puppe.
Meine Puppe.
And that was her friend, that doll. That was her only friend.
Had, really. Yeah.
They were running and hiding.
So how old were you?
Well, I have to give away my age, but I was born when the Holocaust started in 1938. So figure out, I was, by the time the war was over, I was about 6.5, something like that.
So you were a tiny little girl.
I was a little child.
Which is a miracle in and of itself, because not many children survived. Not many Jewish children survived the Holocaust, because the children and the older people were the first to be exterminated by the Nazis. They had no use for them because they couldn't work. So when they would take families and ship them off to concentration camps, they might, if it was a young, healthy mother or father, they might get to live. But the children, they went right to the gas chambers. So
because they couldn't work.
Because they were useless.
They couldn't be
slaves.
They were useless to the Nazis.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to feed them or whatever. So.
Yeah, so they were murdered immediately.
Anyway.
Is
so
there
a
a
miracle.
moment that you remember of faith, a moment of prayer, a moment of your mother holding you? Are there moments like that you think of, that even in life you think how strong you are?
I have to say that unfortunately, when you're in that kind of condition, you're wondering where God is, really. Yes. You're wondering, why isn't he helping us? So the faith is kind of like put aside, because if there was faith, where is God to help me? That we're going through all this. I mean, I remember one time, my mother told me this, that there was a bombing, and she threw me into this pit and laid on top of me. But I personally don't remember it, but she told me the story, and I know it happened. So maybe I'm lucky that I don't, I don't want to say things that are just glimpses in my mind. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Her memories are childhood memories, so they're spotty.
It's like little pictures, little snippets of a movie or something.
Think about, what do you remember from when you were 3 and 4 and 5?
Right.
Plus, I think it's a survival mechanism that your brain blocks out the most painful things, because it's just you couldn't live. It's too difficult to think of those things,
Well, you look at these pictures and you think of 6 million Jews murdered. And what's that?
I was in one of those barracks in Bergen-Belsen.
You were in those barracks
Oh,
in
yeah.
Bergen-Belsen.
She does remember that.
So you remember
I
that?
remember one thing. I don't know if I should say this, but when we were going in there, I saw they had a big pit where they people who dropped dead around the way or were no good. They threw them in this pit. I remember seeing somebody with a trench coat on, and he was walking, and with diarrhea flowing out of him, and he fell over right into the pit right in front of me. But I was still little, and I don't know if that's what I remember. Did it happen? Probably did, but it's just little. Like I said, it's not. I wasn't 15. When you're
Right.
15, you can remember. 14.
Right.
I was what, 3, 4. So
She doesn't remember I went from here and then I went there and then I went there. She was with her mother. And so,
Yes.
but her mother remembered.
Right.
Which is where I got most of the story for
Right.
94 Maidens.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to give away the book, and
Yeah,
I
no
truly,
spoiler
Yes,
alerts.
I hope that people read it, and it's riveting. But you know, what's interesting to me is that you're not angry that in Pennsylvania we don't have this education because
I am.
Okay,
As a daughter of a survivor,
Okay.
I'm angry. Are you angry, Mom? That's a good question, Dawn. I never asked her that.
I don't know if the word angry applies. I think I'm very disappointed when I talk to somebody and they say they don't know. It's like I look at them, I said, you don't know? You never heard of it? But I don't know if the word angry applies.
Well, people in Pennsylvania are angry. I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm getting anger, I'm getting sadness, I'm getting disappointment, and I'm getting confusion, disorientation. Like, what do you mean they're not teaching this in the schools? Currently, it's voluntary. So, you were saying earlier off camera that your sons have learned it.
yes,
Some kids are learning it. And I do want to say that of the children or the students, they're not exactly little children anymore, the kids that I interviewed on the 4 different college campuses I went to, none of them knew zero. Some of them obviously knew more than others. If you watch the videotape all the way through, and it's up on YouTube, so please bring it up, watch it through, just search 94 Maidens on YouTube.
we're going to take a break. Be right back.